And last but not least, Mechtild will bring us to the Himalayas.
Okay, here is the Himalayan chain. So you see on the right side is the eastern side, and between Bhutan and Nepal is Sikkim, and then the western Himalaya is on top on the left side. You see that is on the eastern side is Bhutan and Nepal, in between is Sikkim. And then on the left side is the western with Ladakh. You have it here. And it shows the other parts. And I took samples from the two sides, from Sikkim and from Ladakh. And the tree species are quite different. So here you have a side, a view over the western Himalaya, eastern Himalaya, Sikkim, and here the western Himalaya, which is along the river, the Indus River. So, but now I go back to Sikkim, and then the investigation sites are the East Sikkim and North Sikkim and all parts of Sikkim, as you will see. And here is Sikkim. You see it in a little map here. And on the right side, you have the four parts of Sikkim. And the investigation sites are maybe 6, and there's 5 temples and one number B is the residence in northern Sikkim. Yeah, so the eastern Himalaya there is a lot of rain, the monsoon, and it is from the Bay of Bengal that the rainy clouds are captured at the mountains, and there is monsoon rain from June, July to October. And the forests, there are 60 families which contain 400 species of trees, and they're used as construction material and then used daily use or for fodder, animal food. Then you have the tropical zone is up to 1,500 meters, so it's still low. And then the upper part, the temperate zone, then you have Alnus nepalensis, alder, or the chestnut group. And the subalpine zone, there you have Abies lensa, the Himalayan silver fir. And all the wood identifications were then together with the Tibet Heritage Fund, which is a non-profit organization which is committed to the preservation of first Tibetan heritage, but because this is very difficult now, so but then they have other Tibetan temples, as you will see. And here we are still in Sikkim. Then there's this one of the major temples, and I took a sample, as you can see, from the pillar. And the major tree species were Michaelia, but also Shorea robusta, or poplar, or juniper. And okay, so this Michaelia excelsa was also mentioned by one of the people I met over there, and he said that it is the best known timber of the middle hills, and it produces very fine wood. And so now we come to this other house, which is the only one which is not a temple, but a residence, and it is made of alder. Alder is Alnus. The Latin name is Alnus nepalensis, which is a very, very frequent tree on this, in this art, and it is used for in the middle temperate zone. So this alder wood. Then this, in the southern part, in the southern Sikkim, they had this Nadak monastery, and you see it was very much damaged by earthquakes. Earthquakes are very frequent there. So, and you see this building was damaged and it was restored. And you see one inside as it looks, and my wood identification showed that there's a lot of Michaelia used, but also Shorea and Cypress. And here I put this Shorea because you see here the anatomical features of Shorea, and it is also called the sal tree, and it is very strong, and it's used mostly for soil at the bottom where people are walking on, so it's very much used. So then the next temple is Perma Yangtze Monastery, and you see also on the top left side, and I give a closer view, and this is made from concrete, and it is very cold in winter and very hot in summer, so not very helpful as a concrete. So then I go to the next building, which is the Tashiting Monastery, and there I took a sample from a pillar. Oh God, yes. And again, Michaelia, it's only one sample, and it is Michaelia. Yeah, and now I go to the north of Sikkim, which is 2,800 meters, and in the also it's still the eastern Himalayas, but more top of the mountain. And you see in this building, for example, this reel where they are praying, running all these ladies from Sikkim, from Manilakang Monastery, they were praying for us. So for our good wood identification, and just they were there praying. And what we found out that from the 33 samples, we found that silver fir was used, or Poplar glauca and Pizia. And here you have just an example of the fir. And here you have the example how it looks, the brackets and bearing blocks, which were made of poplar. So now we go to Ladakh, to the Western Himalaya. And there it was all along the river. And Leh is the capital, which you see, Leh, L-E-H. Here you have a map. And so here is the capital, and these are some of the temples we investigated. So you have this Leh and other villages, where, for example, again, there's poplar is used for these brackets and bearing blocks, like here. And then also in the Himalaya, then also in the western side, there is a lot of use of Himalayan silver fir, which is used at the height of 2,700 and 4,300 meters. And not only Abies fir, but also poplar and spruce. Yes, so you see this northern tree species were used. Oh no, I go backwards. Yeah. So we go to the capital, and then in the capital we used several houses, and you see they were made in, you see from poplar, willow, and again poplar and willow and willow. And I go to the next house, Sophie House, which is made by Islam people. So I was just looking if they used another tree species, but yeah, as you will see, they use poplar, willow, and poplar. Yes, you can see. So you see here the ceiling, and then this little at the ceiling, you see these little branches. They are made, as we see in the following, by these willows which make this side. And this is the poplar. Yes, poplar. And you know them, they are very long and slender. Yeah, and then this Lakruk house is the second house, and it is also used by the by the Tibet Heritage Fund. Yes. And you see much of use of poplar and a little bit of willow. Yes. And yes, the stupa is made of willow and poplar. The roof. Of course, I didn't know it at the beginning, but then we took samples, and it was always willow and poplar. And then we went down the Indus River and first went to Alchi, and Alchi Monastery, which is about 3,000 meters high. And there are two temples, Lotsawa and Tsatsapodi. And you see that we use a lot of poplar and a little bit of juniper. And the juniper was used for flooring, floorboard, and floorboard frame. So, which is a little bit stronger as a wood, and it is used for floor, where you're walking. Yeah. Yes, so we take photos, and yes, and then also the Vanla village, the Vanla temple is in the Vanla village, and you see it was along the river, along a small river, which goes to the Indus River. So you see a lot of conifer, but also Pinus wallichiana. I could go to species level, because it shows it is a 5-leaf pine, and there are only one with 5 needles, and the others have 2 needles. So therefore I can go to species level. Yeah, and here you get a little view of the Wanla, and now I go to Kanji village and Kanji temple, and yes, I go up again. I went everywhere, so we went by little car, yes, and yes, this is the temple. And you can see that we did the wood identification, and it's all juniper. All is juniper. So it's already very old. So the juniper was quite deteriorated. So this is all juniper, as you see. And now, and then at the end, we went to the Chumatang village, and together with the carpenters. And here is photos with the carpenters. So here myself, and then Tibet Heritage Fund is Yutaka and all the carpenters. So here you get a little insight before restoration. And so the wood species we use, we found out is a lot of poplar and a little bit of willow. So in the Sikkim, now we return to Sikkim, and all constructions, we found 99 samples were taken, and we found out that 14 local timber trees were used. And the criteria was vegetation and altitude and highness. So very up is the use of Abies spectabilis silver fir, and then a little bit also the Malkelia sedicum, which belongs to the magnolia family, was in the little bit lower levels. And then there was also the building type was one of the criteria. And then another was as this durable wood, the salwood, was used for the flooring, and also for the monastery Tashiding. They used Tony for carving a little casting mold, and it's a kind of magnolia. And then religious custom is another criteria. And yeah, so I don't want to go deeper in it. And the result of Ladakh is 4 species were identified. And the buildings along the Indus River are mainly made of poplar. And then also, as I told you before, that the 2-needle pine, I cannot go to species level, but when it comes to 5-needle pine, I can go to species level. Pinus wallichiana, or synonym is Pinus excelsa. So I don't want to go deeper. Just thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mechtild, for this very nice journey.